From CBS News, this is the Saturday Early Show, coming to you from Fifth Avenue in New York City.
Hi, everyone, and also welcome to Lonnie Quinn, who's with us again this morning.
Lon, what's going on?
It's all good.
It's all good. This
Always.
morning, we're going to talk about something that unfortunately has happened, certainly all of us, and probably you too.
Yeah, wet gadgets. If your cell phone, your iPod gets wet, goes in a puddle, maybe some people might even drop it in the toilet. I don't want to mention anyone specifically.
I shared a story off air. Move on.
You dropped it in a toilet.
I did.
And I dropped it when I was getting a pedicure in the water, and you?
I've spilled more stuff on laptops, whatever else. So anyway, how do you figure out what to do about wet gadgets? We're going to use things like vodka, kitty litter, and rice.
Still
and
ahead here on the Saturday Early Show. Can this cell phone be saved? What do you do with?
He's trashing stuff.
Sir,
Marco's
stop
going
that.
nuts out there. Wow, look at that.
We're going to find out what to do and what not to do if your high-tech gadget gets wet. And later, fast forward to fall. Add one new piece to your wardrobe and you can have a whole new outfit for less than $100. Then, in our Second Cup Cafe, the sound of Matt White.
We're lying naked under the covers. Those are the best days of mine.
So you throw your jeans into the washing machine and realize your iPod is in the pocket, or your cell phone falls into a puddle on the street. What do you do now? Andy Anatko, tech columnist for the Chicago Sun-Times, is here to show us what to do and what not to do. We'll start with not throwing your phones into the fountain, but that was very good.
That's usually a bad thing, yeah. And usually you're lucky if the thing it falls into is a puddle. There's a small sanitary device in every home that is very legendary for these sort of problems.
Yes, indeed. And sometimes people like Lonnie Quinn actually have to reach their hand in and get it back out again, but that's a story for a different day. Everybody's done this to a certain extent, whether it's a little wet or a lot wet. So the question is, what do you do?
What do you do?
You took all these through a test, right?
All these were tested. Now, if you happen to drop it in a puddle, your chances are really very, very good.
Right.
These were the worst case scenario. But all of these 6 phones through a washing machine, full cycle, so it was underwater for 30 minutes and agitated. So no matter what happened, no matter what you do, though, the first thing you got to do is make sure you pull out the battery, make sure you pull out the SIM card, pull out the memory card.
Take it all apart.
All apart, and most important, don't power it up until it's dry, because if you turn it on while it's wet, that's no good for the phone.
All right, so we tried a whole bunch of very interesting things, which you might be surprised at some of the results. The first thing you did is just left it alone.
Just let it air dry, which was marginally, it was unsuccessful. It still worked to an extent, but you couldn't really call it a phone. So,
and again, through a full washing machine. We have rice here?
Rice, yeah. Now this trick is, the idea is that you can, the uncooked white rice will absorb the moisture, just from your 7th grade science.
So toss that in there.
You just bury it in white rice. You want to put it into an airtight container so that the rice is absorbing the moisture from the phone and not from all the air on this humid day.
And are we shaking this around at all, or?
If you want to, it makes a nice little noise. But you just leave it alone for about a full day and hope that it does.
Did it work?
Worked great. I got a working phone. The sound was a little bit muffled, but it was a working phone.
The phone was alive, not dead.
It was alive.
Okay, so dead, doing nothing, alive with the rice. What do we have here?
Fresh Step. Now, we don't have a sponsor here. This is just what was cheap. This is even better than the rice trick, because this stuff is actually...
Kitty litter.
It's kitty litter. Well, it's a special kind. It's this special granulated silica gel. It's the same stuff like when you buy a leather jacket, you get those packets you're not supposed to eat. The exact same stuff. This is designed specifically for the purpose of withdrawing moisture out. So do the exact same thing. Bury it, leave it alone for a good day, and hope for the best.
At the end of that day, what happened with the kitty litter?
Perfect.
No damage. The phone worked.
No damage at all kinds.
Completely. Every key working.
Every key working. And also, it's kind of satisfying to bury it.
Absolutely.
So Dominic spotted a moment, you know.
Say your prayers for the phone.
Exactly.
What's up next? What do we do?
The next one is the urban legend I've always heard about, which is to just put it through the dishwasher, not through the wash cycle. That would be counterproductive.
The dry cycle.
Just put it through the dry cycle. And all that dry heat, if it dries out your Star Trek Captain Picard commemorative plate, it'll dry out your phone.
Did it work?
No.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. It lit up, but not really useful as a phone, so this one's dead.
Keep the wet gadgets out of the dishwasher after they've already been in the washing machine. Andy has been making Bloody Marys this morning.
Yeah. Go see what the girls want. Put some money on.
No, this is amazing. We're actually dropping the wet. It's already been wet in the water, and now you're going to put it in vodka. Why is that going to work?
Now, the theory here is that alcohol penetrates better, it evaporates really, really quickly, and it evaporates cleanly. So if you displace all the water and replace it with alcohol, just like your Uncle Lyle back at the Christmas party, good things will happen.
Were you a bartender? That was pretty good.
I've had training. I'm no chimp here. So then you just take it out of the alcohol, let it dry for about a day. Hopefully it will dry nice and clean, just like that hand sanitizer that's based on alcohol.
And when it's done, alive or dead?
Very much dead. This is the worst of all of them. They didn't even light up, didn't do anything. It's just good as a prop at this point.
So save the
good
vodka.
Tip the bartender with his
for
phone,
something else. Finally, this is a professional drying machine.
This is a professional machine. If you have, if you're hearing impaired and you have hearing aids, they get wet a lot.
Right.
So they've developed special machines just for drying out these electronic devices. This is called the Dry and Store, the most popular model. Costs about $100. You just put it.
That's
right
not
back
cheap.
in there.
$100.
It's not cheap, but I've heard that if you look up audiologists and Google Maps, find one that's nearby. Oftentimes, because they're all good, kind men and women, they'll let you, take this for a ride in their machine for free sometimes.
When this was done,
put it in.
How long does that have to stay on for?
24 hours. All these just 24 hours.
And it costs about $100.
Costs about $100.
Alive or dead when we're done here?
Very much alive. This came out absolutely perfectly. And I think that if you have a more complicated device like an iPod with a hard drive or a Trio with a lot of keys on it, this would probably work the best of all.
Andy Ihnatko, thank you so much. We appreciate your
It's a
time.
slice.
It's alive.